You were in a highly emotional charged situation. The tempers were flaring, the emotions were they were high, right? You're going back and forth. And they said something that you didn't like. And at the tip of your tongue was something that you were itching to say, something that you just like, if I can say this, I'm going to end the argument. If I can say this, I am going to assert dominance. But deep down, you didn't know whether you should have said it because you're aware that I might regret saying this, or you might not regret saying it. So you're at a crossroads. You didn't know which decision to make. But despite you not being sure, you decided to say it. You decided, you know what, I'm going to say it. I'm going to stick it to this person. And you said it. And now, in the moment, you didn't regret it. But after a day, after 2 days, you regretted what you said. And I've been in many situations like this. And I know for a fact that many more situations like this are going to come. In fact, there was a time where I'd argue with my sister like every week, without fail. Every single week. And also there was this group chat that I was in. And I'd argue on the group chat like they're lovely people. But I don't know what was going on. I was just going through a phase where I'd always be arguing. I was always putting myself in situations where emotions were flaring. And I'd always say something that I regretted in the future. And I know for a fact that you've been in many situations like that, and you're going to be in many more situations like that. You can't live life not getting into situations where you're in an argument, where you want to fight, where you want to say something that's going to stick it to them, that's going to make them shut up, right? You're going to get into many situations like that. And I'm aware that in these situations, it's very hard to decide whether you should say something because your emotions will be controlling you. It's in a highly emotional charged situation. So you won't be able to access your logical side as readily as you would be if you're just in a stable mood. While reading a book the other day, the author said that it's better to regret what you didn't say than to regret what you did say. And he said this in relation to situations where perhaps you're in an argument, whatever it is, it's a highly emotionally charged situation. And that's the premise of this video, for emotionally charged situations. And when I read that it's better to regret what you didn't say than what you did say, it really resonated with me. Because I thought about 2 specific situations where I did either one of them, right? And of course, the situations are going to be with girls because it hits home. So essentially, in situation 1, there was this girl that I'd been dating for close to a year, right? And for reasons that I can't mention online, she said that she didn't want to continue, right? And obviously, I thought she was tripping. I was like, oh, you're being dwas. Like, this isn't a reason to finish things. And obviously, she didn't agree. She had made a decision. And in that first situation, though I had so many things I wanted to say, though I quite frankly wanted to grab her shoulders and just like, you're tripping, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know what you think this is, you're going crazy, like this isn't you. I wanted to say so many things to her, but I didn't. I was talking to this girl, we weren't dating, then she said she didn't want to continue, and I was like, again, I thought she was tripping. Well, I didn't think she was tripping. I just thought there was like a loophole around it, that there was another way to do it. So I expressed that. I actually went to and I expressed it. I said what I wanted to say. It was a highly emotionally charged situation. So I was functioning based on emotions, not logic. So I said what I wanted to say. And yeah. Which situation do you think I regretted the most? Situation 1, where despite me having the urge to say something, I didn't. Or situation 2, where I had the urge. I wasn't sure whether I should say it, but I still said it anyway. I regret situation 2 the most. And I can't really say I regret it because at the time I thought it was the correct decision. But in hindsight, or with hindsight, I am not a fan of that decision. Whereas for such scenario 1 where I had all those things I wanted to say and I didn't say them to her, I'm actually more of a fan to that situation. Because what I've come to realize, and especially through this quote that I was reading, is that most of the time, especially these emotionally charged situations like these arguments. Of course, often arguments when you don't say something that you wanted to say, you'll still be in a spiteful mood. So you're like, I wish I said that because I would have stuck it to them and they would have learned it. But the problem is most times in an argument or most times in emotionally charged situations, what you're going to say, the first thing that comes to mind isn't the best thing to say. It isn't the most constructive thing. It is a thing that would more probably protect your ego rather than solving the situation, rather than helping both parties come to a suitable conclusion. Because when emotions are high, your main priority isn't to preserve what's there. Your main priority is to preserve your own intentions, to preserve what you care about. So sometimes you care about your ego more rather than solving the situation between you and someone that you love, or you and your father, you and your sister, you and your friend. You care more about your ego because your emotions are controlling you. Throughout my short years of living, right, I've found one truth. Not one truth, but the truth that relates to this video is that time will tell. Time will tell with everything. And especially in emotionally charged situations, I think it's better not to say something because time will tell. And I'm not saying that you always have this conclusion. You always come to the conclusion that, it's better that I didn't say it. But the nice thing about regretting what you didn't say is that you will always have the chance to say it again. Like, you always have the chance. You may be like, I'm not talking to them anymore, or situations have changed, or this has changed, but there's actually nothing stopping you from saying it again. Like, the situation may have changed. You may be in a completely different environment and it won't make sense for you to say it, but you will always have the chance to say it as long as they're alive. Even if they've blocked you on every single social media, right, on every single platform that you can contact them, you will still have the chance to say it. I mean, you have to see them in real life, and locating them, I wouldn't advise it. But the point is, you always have the chance to say it. Whereas once you say something, you can't take it back. And most times in these emotionally charged situations, what you wanted to say in the heat of the moment is something that may break trust, something that will definitely hurt their feelings, something that will compromise you. It may not hurt their feelings, but it will compromise you. You look back at like, why did I say that? Why was I saying all these things? Obviously, this channel isn't meant for just wishy-washy things that you can't apply to your life. So how to apply this to your life is you need to decide for yourself. Would you rather regret what you didn't say or regret what you said? And I actually think for most people, they'd rather regret what they didn't say. I'll speak for myself. I'd rather regret what I didn't say because it means I'll always have the chance to say it. But there are thousands of things that I regret saying. Times where it's like I overextended. Times where, when you're angry and someone's like, your shoes are whack. And I was like, you're ugly. So decide for yourself whether you'd rather regret not saying something or regret saying it. And if you've chosen to regret saying something, then stop watching the video, because anything else I'm going to say won't apply to you and I don't want to waste your time. The rest of this video is for people who have chosen to regret what they didn't say. The way to maneuver this, or the way I've found I can maneuver it best, is especially in emotionally charged situations. Don't tell yourself I'm not going to say it, but tell yourself that I'll say it when I'm in a stable mood. Because you'll find that once you're in a stable mood, once the emotions that were charging you have diminished, you'll find that whatever you're itching to say probably isn't the right thing to say. And if you're still itching to say it, even when you're in a stable mood, even when the emotions, all the feelings have gone, then it probably was the right thing to say. And you still will have the chance to say it. Like I said, there's always a chance to say something. There is always a chance. Let's say you're still troubled as to whether you should say something. Ask yourself, is it absolutely necessary that I say it? Because if it's absolutely necessary, then you should say it. Like, let's say an example of it being absolutely necessary is that if I don't say this thing, I won't be able to get over it and I'll start holding a grudge on this person. And I think it's actually better that you say it, but try say it in the best and most constructive way possible. Because I know when emotions are flaring, you're going to be like, I want to stick it to this person. If you find that it's not absolutely necessary that you say it, then I would say lean towards not saying it. Above all these principles that you may have, I think the best thing for you to do is to do whatever you feel and whatever you think is right given your current information. Because I've made many mistakes in my past. I've made many decisions that today I'm not proud of, that with hindsight I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that. But the thing is, I don't regret any of them because at the time, I thought it was the best decision to make. See, you can live a life without regret as long as you make the best decision with your current information. I think that's the key to living a life without regrets, just making the right decision. And it won't always be the right decision. In hindsight, more often than not, it will be the wrong decision. But it would have been the right decision given your information. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you.